Hey friends, I'm Mel. Welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm sharing 6 of the best crescent roll recipes I've ever made. 2 of them are brand new, 4 of them are classic favorites that my family have enjoyed for years. I thought it would be a great idea to grab all of these recipes and put them all in one video for easy reference. So sit back, relax, grab your sweet tea, and let me do the cooking. We're going to start with a new one, and it's some baked crescent roll sandwiches. I'm just taking a 9x13 pan and spraying it with some nonstick spray, and I'm taking 1 roll of crescent rolls, just making a 1 sheet out of it, pinching all the seams together in the bottom of that pan. Once that's all done up, I am going to pre-bake this for about 10 minutes on 375 degrees. Now let's get to work on our sauce. I've got a 1/4 cup of melted butter. Into that, I'm putting about 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard, 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, and I'm just going to mix all that together. I'm going to take about half of this mixture and I'm going to brush it on the crescent rolls that I just baked up. Now we're just going to start assembling our layers. I'm starting with 1 layer of provolone cheese. Now we're going to start with our meat. This actually called for 3 meats and I omitted the roast beef. It called for ½ a pound of deli ham, deli turkey, and roast beef. We're not big roast beef fans, but I did use about 3/4 a pound of a honey deli ham and a smoked deli turkey. Then I'm going to go over the top of that with a nice layer of mozzarella sliced cheese. I've taken my 2nd can of crescent rolls and I'm just trying to make a sheet out of it. Now if you have the crescent dough sheets, this is one of those recipes that it would be perfect for, but if you don't, you can just do this pinch method like I have. I'm going to take the rest of the sauce and brush it all over the top of this. I am going to sprinkle it with some Italian seasoning. I thought it needed a little bit of something on the top, and the next time I make this, I will definitely add in some garlic and onion powder into that sauce as well. I'm going to cover that and bake it about 15 minutes, then pull that aluminum foil off and bake it another 10 to 15 minutes. This little sandwich here was so delicious. This thing was full of meat. I can't imagine it having 3 kinds of meat in it. We loved this. You can see all that yummy, gooey cheese stretch in this. We ate this for dinner one night just with some chips and pickles. This would be perfect to cut up and have as an appetizer on game day. You could totally customize this, just like all the sliders, to whatever you like. This one's definitely a winner in our book. Now here is an old favorite of ours. This is a good old taco ring. And you're just going to start with a ½ a pound of ground beef. This was some I had frozen and I just thawed it out on top of the stove. Into that ½ a pound of ground beef, you're going to put an entire envelope of taco seasoning. You want a very strong taco taste here. I used about 2 big tablespoons of water, and you're just going to mix that together. You can use a little bit more water if you need to. You don't want it soaked, but you just want it to be able to adhere to the meat. Going to put in about a cup of shredded cheese and mix that in as well. You do use 2 cans of crescent rolls, and you need the rolls for this. You're going to form a ring just by making a circle on your pan out of your crescent rolls. You're going to put the flat side to the end and lay the pointed side to the outside. If you need to, you can put a little small bowl in the middle to kind of help you keep on a circle. But I've made so many of these through the years, I just eyeball it. I even make this on a square pan. Once you get all your little circle formed, you're going to go right around that with your seasoned meat and cheese mixture. Just fill in wherever you think it looks sparse till you have it all used up. Then you just pull the little points across and tuck them under. And it's okay if your meat is showing. You want it to be like that because these crescents are going to bake up and puff up, but you still want to see a little bit of that cheesy taco meat on the inside. Now you just cook this at 375 degrees. Mine just takes about 15 or 20 minutes. Just keep your eyes on it. You want it to be nice and brown, but you definitely don't want to burn this. Look how yummy this looks. The crescent rolls, we all love them, and the taco flavor is awesome. I love to use my pizza cutter to slice this up. This is another game day favorite. I make this at Christmas for finger foods a lot. Here we had it for dinner, and I just made a little taco salad on the side with some tortilla chips. This is one of our family's most favorite and most requested weeknight dinners. So simple, easy, and delicious. Now I'm going to share some $1 million chicken roll-ups. I'm using some shredded chicken that I had cooked up in the crock pot. You could definitely use a rotisserie chicken. Into that, I am putting about 1/3 cup of cottage cheese and 2 big tablespoons of sour cream, and also 2 big tablespoons of some softened cream cheese. I'm going to sprinkle in about 1/4 cup of garlic and 1/4 cup of onion powder. I also put a little bit of salt and pepper to season this up too. Going in with about 1/2 cup of shredded cheese, and just mix this together. This is your filling. And you do need a package of crescent rolls, and you need the actual rolls for this one as well. The recipe that I'll have linked for you says to use 12, but crescents come 8 to a package, so I just make mine extra big. You're just gonna unroll them and put your filling at the larger end of your crescent, and then just roll it up and put it in a greased casserole dish. I like to use like an 8x8 or a 9x9 because I want them to be closer together, because we are going to put a little sauce over them, and I want it to kind of all stay like compacted in there. This is more of a casserole and not necessarily a crescent meal that you could pick up and eat with your hands because of the sauce, but it makes a wonderful cozy fall winter meal. Put some veggies with it. My family loves this, and it's so quick and easy. I've got mine all lined up there. They're touching. That's fine. You're going to pre-bake these at 350 degrees for about 10 minutes. While we got that going on, we're going to make our sauce out of a can of cream of chicken soup and about 1/2 cup of milk. I'm not heating this. I'm just getting it stirred until it gets nice and smooth. After your crescents have baked up for about 10 minutes, when you pull them out, we're going to put this sauce right over the top. You could also sprinkle a little bit of parsley or something like that on here to give it some color, even some Italian seasoning, whatever you like. And they're going to go back in that 350 degree oven for about 25 or 30 more minutes. I always like to turn mine over to broil on the end because I like to get a little bit of brownness on the top. You just have to watch them real careful. This is so bubbly and gooey. The chicken, the cheese, all the good stuff in here is wonderful. The crescents are still nice and fluffy, but it sort of tastes like a little bit of a dumpling as well. I love to throw out some instant mashed potatoes and just doctor up some green beans. I put a lot of black pepper on the top of mine. This is a total comfort meal that is so easy for any weeknight. Rotisserie chicken, canned chicken, or any kind of shredded chicken you may have left in your freezer. Next is an oldie, but definitely a goodie. This is the sausage cream cheese crescent bake. You're just going to take 1 pound of sausage, 2 cans of crescent rolls, and the dough sheets would be perfect for this recipe. And you're going to need an 8-ounce block of cream cheese that's softened. I'm going to brown up that sausage and drain off any grease, and while that's cooking up, I've got a casserole dish that I have sprayed, and I'm going to use my can of rolls on the bottom, again just pinching them together at the seams to make a sheet. I had 1 can of rolls and 1 can that was a sheet, so I chose to use the rolls on the bottom and the sheet on the top. Once you've got your sausage all drained off, you're just going to put that in a bowl, put in your 8 ounces of softened cream cheese, and get that mixed all together. This is all the ingredients there are in this recipe. Once that's well combined, spread it over your crescent roll bottom. Then you're going to come back over the top with your other package of crescent rolls. See how easy those sheets are? But if you don't have them, don't worry. You can just pinch your crescent rolls together. If you wanted to get super fancy, you could do like an egg white wash over the top of this. But I just threw it in like this. 375 degrees for about 15 to 25 minutes. Just keep your eye on it. This is awesome for breakfast with some eggs and a cinnamon roll, or it makes a great finger party food for game day or just any of your little holiday get-togethers, or awesome just as a weeknight dinner as well. My family loves this. This is another oldie that I have not made in a long time. Super impressive. This is another one that starts with shredded chicken. I love to buy the frozen boneless, skinless chicken breast, and I'll cook a crock pot of it just about every week with just a little bit of broth, season it up with salt, pepper, onion, garlic, and then I have it all week long for any of these kind of recipes that I want to pull out. Into your chicken, you're going to put in about a cup of frozen vegetables. You're going to put in that cheese. I used about a half a cup of cheese. I've got 4 ounces of cream cheese. It's very soft and chunked up. And then I just went ahead and used like the whole can of cream of chicken soup. I'm going to mix all that together really well. Now to assemble the braid. You're just going to make a long rectangle out of your first can of crescent rolls. You do overlap them a little bit because your filling's going to be laying on this, but you're just going to lay, 2 crescents side by side to make a square, pinch your seams together, and just make sure that is put together really well. Now the other can of crescent rolls, you're going to lay out to the side, very similar to how we did the taco ring. You're going to put the long bottom of the triangle to the rectangle you've made with the points to the outside. Now you're going to come back with your chicken mixture, and you're just going to spread it all along that little rectangle you've made. Just trust the process here. I know this seems weird, but it turns out very pretty in the end. Now to make this look like a braid, you're just going to go from one side to the other, bringing the tip of your crescent roll over and tucking it under the bottom of your crescent. And this is a very pretty. I always have one crescent roll that will like to tear apart on me, but that's fine. But this looks so pretty. It looks like a braid once it's all cooked up. You're just going to do that the whole length, and then of course I have mine stuffed way too full, but I try to leave room at each end where I can pull the dough up and over the filling. I never have enough room, but that's okay. It's still good. Now this one is going to bake at 375 degrees for about 15 or 20 minutes. Again, just like the taco ring, you want to see your filling in between those crescents. That's what makes this so pretty when you pull it out. Again, the easiest way to slice these things for me is with my pizza cutter. This is a super fun recipe to make, especially with the kids. If they get their hands in there, they're a whole lot more likely to eat that chicken and veggie filled pot pie. The cream cheese gives it just a little extra zing. This is a super cozy, fun meal for fall, or you could cut it up in smaller pieces as an appetizer. Now, we couldn't leave without a wonderful crescent roll dessert. This is Mountain Dew Apple Dumplings. This was supposed to be in the video with my parents where we did like regional foods because Mountain Dew was made here in Knoxville, Tennessee. That's where it was invented. It's the beautiful dew off of our Smoky Mountains. But anyway, I have been dying to share this with you. I'm using one Granny Smith apple. The recipe that I'm going to pin for you, I'm halving it, because one apple is going to make 8 dumplings. We don't even need 8. We sure don't need 16 of these things laying around here. I have this little dude. You've probably seen this. I think this one came from Pampered Chef. But you just put it over the top and press really hard. Really, really hard when it's a fresh apple. And it makes you 8 little slices there. So you got your core out, so all I got to do is come back through and just peel the skin off of them. I'll put one of these in my Amazon store for you so you can kind of see it. Now you want to use a Granny Smith because it's nice and tart. That's just what really tastes good in here. Now if you didn't have a Granny Smith, I'm sure you could use something else, and all this sugar and brown sugar and all this goodness is probably gonna make it all just taste fine in the end anyway. Now I have another recipe I'm going to put up here for you. If you do not have Mountain Dew, you can use orange juice for this. Just a little bit different. You're going to put the orange juice in the sauce and you pour it over all at once. But I have made this before too, and it's really good. Okie dokie, I'm using butter flavored Crescent rolls. The butter flavored was just what they had, but it's probably going to make it extra good too. Okie doke, I just made my little triangle out here, and then I'm taking one little slice of apple and just rolling it up in every one. You'll notice that some of my apples are bigger and some of them's cut smaller. That's because apples are not perfect. They are just, you know, that core wasn't exactly straight, so some of them are cut a little bit bigger than others, but that's fine because some of us like a little more apple and some of us like a little more dumpling. This is probably a 8x8 pan over here. I just went over it with a little bit of cooking spray, and I'm just setting them over into that pan. Now if you want to get super extra, you could do cinnamon on the inside of these Crescent rolls. I've done that before, but I'm not going to get that extra tonight. I'm going to go over them a couple times with some cinnamon and sugar. But now I'm just going to take a little bit of cinnamon, and I actually have some of my Mr. Sticks cinnamon and sugar mix that you add the butter with. And I am just going to sprinkle this pretty liberally over the top. Okay, I've got my saucepan here. I'm going to take an entire stick of butter, and I'm going to take a half a cup of brown sugar and half a cup of regular granulated sugar. We're just going to stir all this together and let it get all melted, and it'll make a nice gooey sauce. And when my sauce gets down here, I like to put just a little bit more cinnamon in my sauce, and I want to put just a smidgen of vanilla too. Oh, it's a little hot down there. Okay, now we are just going to pour this right over these dumplings. I'm going to try to get them all covered. Anywhere you see some that's not covered, just try to scoop you a little up there on them. Now I've got about a half a cup of Mountain Dew, and you're just going to pour this sort of around the edges. And I have never used Diet Mountain Dew. I don't know if it matters or not, but I've just always used regular, and these are going to soak all this goodness up. It's kind of like those viral TikTok cinnamon rolls. They're going to get ooey gooey and soak it all up. Now my oven's at 350. I'm going to put these in. I'm going to start checking them about 30 minutes. Sometimes it takes up to 45. You just got to look at them. These are so delicious. You can serve them just like this. You can put your little vanilla ice cream on them. You can also put peaches inside of that. We've done them so many different ways. These are amazing. They taste like you've spent all day baking up this treat. It's been a long time since I made these. I gotta dig in. And if you didn't guess, I'm more of a dumpling girl. The apples, that's just a bonus. Oh my goodness. That is so good. I never take our Sunday nights together for granted. Thank you for sharing your time with me. If you liked tonight's video, I would appreciate it if you give it a big thumbs up. And if you'd like more quick and easy weeknight dinner inspiration or some snacks, check out one of the videos I have linked on the screen for you. Until next time, as always, I send you love from my kitchen.